What is going on YouTube and Y'all Squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for Belle Collector Season 5, Episode 8. This is the season finale. Again, we needed more than 8 episodes, but I'm just going to believe that they only gave him enough for 8 episodes. I'm going to believe, okay? I don't believe, but I'm just going to believe because I ain't got no choice but to. Yeah, we got some things to talk about because, the ending. Yeah. So I know this review is lit. Again, like I said, this week was crazy. This weekend was crazy. Like I said, y'all getting it today because I have today off. Like I said, I took today off because today is my birthday. I have never worked on my birthday. I do not intend on working on my birthday. So here we are. So I got this review left. Well, I have this review and then I have Potomac left. And then, of course, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be here tonight. Make sure you guys come back. So we start off with Latrice talking about the dual opening is in a day. There's so much going wrong. There's a dispute over the sign, and Cliff feels that they pulled a fast one on Latrice because she is a woman, and he's pretty much just like, if it ain't what I want, I'm not paying. And from what I was able to ascertain, it appeared that she did the measurement, sent it to Cliff, and Cliff to prove it. But her whole thing is, I don't know an inch from a centimeter from a foot. So it is what it is. You approved it. No. They're trying to work through that. Selena joins. Latrice shares that Glenn is pretty much uh, mixed up with the party. So like his party is pretty much gonna be after the mix and whatnot, and how that's just a crazy thing. Then says we don't have a sink, we ain't got no liquor. The party is tomorrow. No liquor license, and because this is a soft opening, I don't think that they would really need the liquor license because they're not selling anything. Now, once they go to officially open and start selling, yeah, they're going to need a liquor license. But for that, should be good just for the soft opening. Selena and Sophia, we found out, haven't talked since the trip, but I really wasn't expecting it, especially given the fact that JJ still feel the ways. But hey, they're moving like it's baby steps. The party will be the first time in a while that Sky and Sanjay have seen JJ. We'll see what goes with that. Selena prepares the signature taste string. Look nice. And again, I don't know that much about Selena, but it looked like she know what she was doing. So go ahead. So we get Marie, her son. Was it Kari? Kai? I think one of them. Her son Jerez, her son Trey, and her daughter Zuri. All of them at church with Bishop Jeffrey Stalwart. I'm gonna just call him Bishop. And he says they suffer, a spiritual injury, even though it wasn't a physical injury. And that it's concerning not being able to go back to a place where you're supposed to be at peace. Marie says she feels homeless and lost, even though she's technically not homeless, but she can't go back there. So, she feels homeless, even though there's places that she can go. But again, your home is supposed to be your place of, refuge, solitude, the whole shebang. But she's glad her kids were not at home because her daughter Zuri is always in her room, and her room was the most shot up. And I'm just like, if these people knew that, like, if they knew that, like, that's where her room was, because it seems like they weren't gunning for, like, the first floor. It seemed like, because I'm assuming that Zuri's room was probably on the second floor, where it's somebody probably cased the place, already knew, and it seems like they were trying to make a point. And that is crazy and devastating, to say the least. Um, so Bishop brings up, baptizing her because that's something that she had wanted to do, and mentions that, she was baptized growing up, but that is what I believe her grandmother wanted. So this is going to be for her. So we get Letitia and Glenn. She's cooking for the family. Glenn is worried if the food gonna be crispy, and Letitia says, there's some things that he needs to, crisp up while he talking. So Letitia provide him with some documents to help him with a business, almost like a business plan. Glenn is overwhelmed and feels that, she's moving too fast and says, there's a place for her in the company and would like for her to be the brokerage. No, ask her about getting her brokerage license. Letitia is down to help, and, she's trying to, light a fire up under him. And she asks him about his B-Day, and he brings up that it's going to be at Taste. Now, Letitia, I'm gonna give you something before I take something away at the very end. But I'm gonna give you this. From what I see, and you trying to sit here and do brunch wear, I really feel that you should have sat down and came up with a self-help book, start to finish, on how to create a business, how to open a business, and the whole shebang, where you talk about reverse planning, reverse engineering, where better helping to come up with plan, have it be a workbook style type of thing. Talk about getting a EIN, getting a business bank account, how to best structure your business so you can take advantage of loans, how to go about getting grants. Also talking about how to use your own money to fund the business without doing it in such a way where you get taxed twice on that money. All of these different things to where you could do that, because again, it seems like these brunches are supposed to be somewhat of a workshop, and you could do it to where you have a book showing, hey, this is how you do it. Even talking about how, before even starting the business, how to raise your personal credit score, different things you can do, and how to use that to leverage this over here. I'm throwing out stuff like, again, I'm working on my own business right now, things that I've had to acquire and pulling knowledge from all these different places. But do you know how great it will be to be able to have all this knowledge in one concrete location? And this would have been the perfect opportunity for you to present it to your husband and do some product placement. But again, if you haven't done it, you probably should do it. I only want 2% on that fee. I'm gonna just charge you 2%. I ain't even gonna charge you the full 10. So we have Marie's baptism. So Sophia is there, Letitia's there, even cousin Nettie was there. Her daddy was there. It was a whole thing. Nettie says that she will be there for Marie more often, and made it to where she didn't let her know that she was coming, so that she could surprise her. That's cool. So now we get to Latrice's dual opening. Now Tambra is the host, and one thing I had thought, as like in watching the episode, and like this is the finale, and going back and kind of thinking about what everybody's storyline was, the only person that really didn't have much of a storyline was Tambra. Because you have Sophia, and you have Selena trying to repair things with her children and her children's father. You have damn, what was Letitia's? Letitia really didn't have one either. Marie always, businesses opening up business, and then what happened with the shooting and whatnot, and just trying to get her life back, and even just being a more evolved person than who she was. I'm sorry, Letitia did have one, and that was trying to bring the collective back together, 'cause I'm pretty sure production told her to. Sophia, also piggybacking with the whole her family and Selena's family coming back together, her dealing with what's going on with her daughter and trying to take better care of herself. Akeisha, still working on the Fair Street thing and whatnot. And then Latrice, with the double opening of her businesses. So yeah, it kind of seems like Tamara really just fell through the cracks. But anyway, I believe it was the mayor of Jacksonville presented her with her meaning Latrice, with a certificate of appreciation. Cliff is making sure that Taste is good to go. JJ is concerned with what's going to happen, with Selena and Sophia. Sophia comes in, and pretty much just does like a, general hi, but, speaks directly to Selena. And Selena feels away because it's like, it was kind of like a low-key hi. And I wonder if it's because of JJ, and it could be, but the reality is y'all not in the best of places. Y'all... And it's like, y'all really do need to take baby steps. And it just kind of feels like she kind of wants there to be a problem. And I hope not. Even though when the reunion comes, well, she going to have some fire up under that, what. JJ greets his kids, and the girls take Selena outside to talk about their interaction. Again, I don't know which daughter it was, but it seemed like one of his daughters intentionally was kind of being a little withdrawn, talking to him and whatnot, and even kind of painted it to be like, yeah, because this is how he came at me, almost as if you live for this type of drama. Like, I hope I'm reading way too much into it, but I don't know. Anyway, I done lost my place. Hold on. So we see Stormy and Nell from Love and Marriage Huntsville. They're there. Everyone walks over to Taste for the soft launch. What I want to mention is there was supposed to be sweets at the Goddess Limbs because they started there. We didn't get a chance to see the sweets. We didn't get a chance for her to talk about what she, even though we know what she's going to do, but we didn't get a chance to see that. So I wanted to see that. We didn't see that. They're at Taste. They didn't differentiate between it ending and then Glenn's B-Day like beginning. But Glenn makes an entrance. Willie extends his hand, kind of, trying to greet Glenn, and then Glenn kind of like swipes his hand away. And right there, it's just, And the only reason that threw me is y'all had been cordial this whole entire time, and okay, you choose your friend's dual opening and your birthday celebration to be an asshole. What was the purpose of that? Like that, I'm just like, So, and it's one of those where you're setting the tone. And again, don't forget, there's beverages involved, right? Okay. So, Glenn says to Cliff that Willie is jealous because he got Latrice and that Willie got Akeisha. Now, first off, where the hell did that come from? Two, we not finna sit here and pretend like Akeisha's ugly because she's not. And three, if this is how you feel like that, you should have just went ahead and said that right out loud. Like that's some real, ish, some bish made energy. That's what that is. So obviously Willie heard something and he wants to know like what was they over there mumbling about. So Cliff says, "Oh, we trying to figure out who did your hair." For real? Like this is what we're talking about? Cuz you're trying to be funny, right? And even with that, I'm going to even pull on like Cliff. This is partially your event. Why are you feeding into this? Cuz you could have easily been like, "Hey man, like this ain't the time for that. Like let's just try to be cool. Let's just try to chill." But no, you are adding to this chaos. Cause he only asked us like, cause he didn't want a confirmation. Like, what y'all mumbling about over there? Cause it's just like, obviously, it's about him. So then they began to exchange insults. I did not write all the insults down, and I know this review is going to be somewhat speedy, even though it's not supposed to be. But I really did not feel like writing each insult down, mostly due to the fact that I'm doing 3 reviews today. So forgive me. But Cliff tells him, if he comes at them, that he need to pick the right one. And because again, it's a 2-on-1. And my whole thing is, but is that really like, is that really indicative of being a man where both of y'all have to sit here and verbally spar with him? Because that right there says everything, that neither one of y'all are equipped enough, have the eloquent speech or the vocabulary to truly come at him. And again, were their Jones very elementary? Yes, they were, but all you got to be is effective. And the fact that every time they said something to him, that he had a comeback immediately. So it's a 2-on-1. And even with this, I'm looking at Latrice and Letitia like, y'all see clearly y'all men are on one. At what point is it that you try to pull one of them away, or like, "Hey, baby, you doing too much. Calm down, calm down." Now, Akeisha is sitting there and she's getting irritated because she a real one. Like, It's like, no, I'm not finna sit here while y'all sitting here talking about my husband and think that I'm not finna say nothing. So she's getting visibly upset, right? Willie calls them both dumb and dumber and says that he lives rent free in their head. And the fact that Glenn says that, he don't live in not one frolicle. And I'm just like, sir, you are proving this man's point. Like, and then I have the subtitles on, or I'm sorry, closed caption. Oh man, it was just a whole lot. And then Letitia feels like, this is a third grade conversation that's going on, and I kind of happen to agree. And Cliff says out loud he doesn't like Willie, and Willie's a small fish. And no, I'm sorry, no, that he doesn't like Willie. And Akeisha says, and guess what? We don't give a you know what. So Cliff calls him a bell. Willie says, you know what? You can suck on these bells. And look, when it comes to most men and toxic masculinity and the question of one's manhoods and femininity and whatnot, it's the quickest way to get most men out to jump out their body and for things to go left. Latrice says to Cliff that he said you can suck his bells right then, now. Why did now he didn't hear it obviously? So you said that to him because you are thoroughly enjoying this sparring session. So for someone to be so upset with how the night ended, you definitely, because at first I'm upset because y'all are not trying to stop y'all's respective men's. And you might not be able to stop him, but at least try to make an effort. Give the impression that you're trying to stop them. And even with Latrice, this is your event. And you see it spiraling because you can't sit here and say you don't know how it all started unless, we're claiming that everybody was drunk, and they probably were. But she says that, and Cliff is like, oh no. And then Akeisha says, okay, well then stop riding it then. I'm like, oh, well, Akeisha done got activated. Cliff stands up and says, you ain't got no nuts. Willie stands up, then Glenn, well, pretty much the women stand up with them. And, you have Cliff saying that, you just a small fish in the pond and whatnot. Really? And then Willie lets him know, like, bro, you got me effed up. FU's our exchange. Letitia says to Akeisha, because I don't know what triggered it, I missed this part, but said, what's up, B? Akeisha is then trying to get to Letitia. And you see Willie not even taking his eyes off of Glenn and Cliff, just reaches his hand and kind of like wraps his woman in his arm, like, nah, baby, you ain't going nowhere. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then all of a sudden, chaos ensues. And then you have Glenn almost trying to jump and crowd surf to get to Willie Earl. But you had one to two people able to physically lift Glenn up off his feet and walk him back to the other end of Taze. You see Cliff wasn't trying to do nothing. Cliff just, because again, you got all that mouth, but once stuff got sticky, you weren't trying to get your hands in it. And the majority of them had to really hold Willie back. And again, you can only take but so much naturally. Many different moments of where things could have been de-escalated, right? And like I said, a lot of blame that can be shared amongst a lot of people. So Akeisha's outside and she pretty much wants nothing to. Nope. I jumped ahead of myself. Akeisha said that, she got me effed up. I tried to be nice. I tried to be respectful. I tried to be a doe. And that's what y'all gonna do? Willie, Akeisha, and Sophia, and JJ Lee. Because Sophia whole thing is, Willie, you get in the car. Akeisha, you get in the car. And that right there is a real friend, which is like, no, trying to save them. And since I'm gonna try to spread this review out just a little bit, it reminds me of when I was in Korea, and one of my boys from Fort Rucker had just came to Korea, and he like, yeah, let's go kick it. Like, show me around, Pyeongtaek. All right, cool, whatever. He was like, yeah, come my roommate come. He knew da da da, and I'm like, nah, I guess, trying to be nice and whatnot. And we are having drinks, and old boy talking about how he got a family and whatnot, and he ain't never gonna do nothing to mess up his family, this, that, and third. I'm believing the hype, like, all right, cool. Bruh got wasted, and I started to see him slipping, and I had to pull back on my drinks. I'm just like, great, I gotta sit here and be somebody parent today, and trying to get, and it got to a point where I'm like, okay, we need to get this man out the club and get him back to the Bears, because now I done lost my whole buzz messing around with Playboy. Trying to get him into the vans, he yelling at the Katusas and whatnot. Katusa mean Korean augmentee to the U.S. Army. So Korean nationals that rather than go to the Rock Army, which is their army, they're with us for, what is it, 2 years, I believe. So that, but he's arguing with them. And at one point, we get in the cab line. He starts arguing with one of the soldiers. And I know the soldier. So I'm just like, hey, bro, you respect me, right? He was like, I'm like, hey, no, look at me. You respect me, right? He was like, I'm like, great, get the fuck in the cab and go back to the barracks. Cause my thing is, let me try to defuse this. Cause one, even though that soldier obviously in lower rank than all of us, he was gonna lay old boy out. But it's also the thing of knowing who he knows. Cause again, in any institution, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know and how from the top down, that one ain't finna look good. Trying my best to de-escalate a situation. That's kind of going back to this where it's the ready travel, like, cause here's the thing, that cab belonged to us, but it's like, nah, Myers, you get in the cab and you go. Get out of here. Cool, like try to cool off, like, so I get it. I appreciate Sophia for doing that. So after the event, you have Akeisha saying to her husband, and because he seething, like you could tell that he really wanted to get to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like rip them up like a rotisserie chicken. And Akeisha said she wants nothing to do with the Rogers, and she says that has been standing for Letitia and Glenn. Latrice feels that Willie and Akeisha intentionally ruined her event. How? How, Sway? How? Did they intentional? Now, mind you, I did hear there was some other stuff that happened. I'm only commenting on what I was shown on the camera, okay? On the show, I should say. So she says Akeisha is dead to her and that she is sure of Akeisha more than Marie. And, Latrice feels that Akeisha doesn't belong in the collective. Did I say no? I'm sorry. Latrice and Letitia feels that she is no longer belongs in the collective. So here we go with an icing out. So that was the episode, and as chaotic as it was, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rewatch the brawl, especially for the Jones. I know that's bad, but whoo! And apparently a lot was cut out, but hey, it is what it is. So that is all that I have for the season finale. Um, yeah, I will see you all for part one of the reunion, and make sure y'all catch Potomac, which I'm about to do, and be back tonight for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. So rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all then. Peace out.